Hello guys, how are you? Long time no see. So, how are you? Alive? Surviving the virus? So, guys, if you could, I really would like to get your books, please. So we'll follow the
Hello
pictures.
guys, how are you?
Long time no see. So, how are you? Alive? Surviving the virus? So, all right. A little mistake. Hold on, guys. I closed the book. Oh, so sorry. Ah, pronto. Agora entrou. Agora entrou. Prontinho. So let's start here, guys, on lesson 1. All right, guys, on lesson 1, we started talking about being a tourist. Remember? Traveling. Well, if you want to travel, by the way, now it's a perfect time. The ticket price is very cheap. You could go to Europe, you could go to United States, almost for free. But anyways, so in this lesson, we talked about very beautiful places to go and things to do when you're traveling, like buying souvenirs, taking photos, this kind of thing. So here I prepared a PowerPoint with some images so we could talk about. The first picture is talking about LA, Los Angeles, because in the book there was a picture of Hollywood, do you remember? So a lot of people, when they go to United States, they have some three options actually, basically. The first one, usually, is New York. Manhattan, to be more specifically, in New York City. So they go there because they have lots of attractions, like the Empire State Building, you have the Statue of Liberty, and the buildings, the city itself, it's amazing. You have the buildings with the mirrors on the wall, on the windows. And also, there's another option, but it's the other side of the country, because on the east you have New York, and on the west, on completely other side of the United States, you have LA. And in this lesson, I don't know if you remember, but we talked about the difference of these two places and where would you like to go? Some people said they would prefer to go to the East Coast to visit New York. Some others said they would prefer to go to West Coast to visit LA, Las Vegas, Nevada, that part of United States. And of course, the third place that a lot of people love to visit is Disney in Florida. Usually on 15 birthdays, they go there. Go to see the park, the attractions, the water park. I would like to go there one day, but, well, you always have Minas Beach. They're same. I'd like to see the, Lorena will feel the thing, to see the Harry Potter world in Disney. It would be amazing. Like, yes, and here we have, let's see if I have a picture of the garden. Oh, the backyard of Fernandinha. Here's the backyard. Here's the pool, you know, this blue part here is the pool. Just kidding. Oh, and the fourth place, some of you guys said in the class that you love to go. Texas, right, you? I don't know what there's in Texas to show, but probably a lot of sand. hats, people with hats, cowboys. Texas like interior of Minas Gerais of the United States. Really. So let's go back to the book. And we're talking about traveling by ship too. Did you see, guys, in coronavirus thing? A lot of ships, cruise ships with a lot of people got stuck and no country would accept them. So they had to go from one country to another, trying to stay there, but no country would like to receive those people infected. And not an easy trip at all. Guys, you can comment, okay? On WhatsApp and on the stream here. Let's see. Hi, não tá aparecendo. Hi, hello, Fernandinho's Backyard. Okay. No, Lorena. Harry Potter World's not on Disney, really? I think there is. I saw a advertisement on TV talking about the inauguration of the Harry Potter World. It's not. Are you sure it's not a Disney thing? I think it is. I will ask João Pedro Medina because he made a presentation about that. And Roberto is saying that Texas is like the favela of Rio de Janeiro. Classic Roberto. Guys, you can chat on the streaming video because Lorena is talking to me here on WhatsApp saying that she's feeling lonely because only her and Roberto are talking in the chat. And of course, Pipico said hi, hello, talking all the time, as usual. Pipico, what color is the book? Just kidding, it's white. All right, so go back to the book. We talked about taking photos, of course. Today, the best part of traveling is taking photos and posting on your social network to show people that you travel and they don't. You know, it's like half the fun. So you travel and say, hey, I traveled there, and you stayed in Nova Era. I went to New York and stayed in Nova Era. I went to Texas and you went to favela in Rio de Janeiro. And we also talked about where do you think would be the trip of your dreams? So if you have infinite money, where would you go? And then we have lots of options. We talked about Japan, going to those streets crowded, full of people, lights everywhere, you know, Godzilla walking on the streets, this kind of thing. Normal in Japan, you know. We talked about going to Europe because Europe has amazing places. Now in Italy, the dolphins have returned to the channels in Venice. Did you see the news? And a lot of memes about that, of course. We talked about France, going to the museums. We talked about Netherlands. Do you remember that picture of the tulip fields? That's so amazing. All right. And here we talk about the importance of traveling because we check new places, we see new cultures, we open our minds to new differences. So what maybe you think it's strange after you travel to that place, you absorb that culture a little, and you think that's just a different part of a thing. You know, it's not like wrong or right, but it's different. Only in India, you know, because in India they drink the pee of cows, so that's not actually good, I think. It's just bad, not different at all. I showed you the video, right? And that guy frying the things with the hand, do you remember? It's like Ruffles, but fried with the hand. Hand tasty. All right. We did this listening about a woman that she was lost in the middle of Ireland. Do you remember? She was trying to find her hotel, and then she discovered after some time that she had the address on her key in the hotel. And she made friends with a guy. I don't remember his name, actually. It was like, what was his name? I forgot. Do you remember the name of the guy, guys? Uh, I don't know why, but I'm with Jennifer in the hand, but it's not Jennifer, of course, but Johan. I remember. And okay, after that, guys, we talked about another places and activities to do when you are traveling. So after that, we talked about, for example, camping. That is an amazing activity. I always try to convince Gabi to go camping, but she's not into the camping thing, you know. She thinks like mosquitoes are irritating. But I love to, I like the idea to be in contact with nature, you know, to breathe fresh air. Look at this picture. That's amazing. Imagine you sleeping at night after you doing some marshmallows in the bonfire, you know, and you go there to sleep, you know, you listen to strange noises in the night, some bear passing near you. Perfect. But really, wake up to this view. That seems very interesting. But one day, I really would like to do something more extreme, you know, like largados pelados, think naked and afraid in English. One second, guys. Naked and afraid thing, largados pelados, it would be very nice. One day I really would like to do that. Go to the middle of the forest. Well, forest is not a problem, né? We live in the forest. So one day I would like to go to the middle of the pasture. Maybe I will get my dogs and Gabi and go there, just us, not naked with clothes, and a knife, and make the house, you know, stay 2 days. Try to survive. I think it would be very interesting. Maybe take some ruffles, but make the house in the woods, it would be a challenge. And we talked about the different foods around the world. Pizza, like Lorena said in the chat. Japanese foods, like Esther likes, I think. And Fernanda, I think. Hamburger, Tainá doesn't like hamburgers, but it's amazing, Tainá, you have to. Churros, who doesn't like churros? Macaron, it's like a French biscuit. I don't know what's the taste of this. I'm very curious. I never ate that, and I really would like to eat that one day. It's like this is like a taco. I'm not sure if it's a taco. It's just a sandwich. I don't know. Rice with shrimp. Do you like shrimp, guys? I like shrimp, but not a lot like that. Like 1 or 2 in the middle of the rice, I think it's a good idea, but a lot of shrimp together, I'm not sure. Let's check the comments here. Let's see what's going on. Yes. Where's the feijoada? True, Roberto. Where's the feijoada? The feijoada is like the most important typical food of the world. And the barbecue, of course, the different barbecue around the world. Here in Brazil, we have a kind of barbecue. In the United States, you see that usually they make sandwiches, hamburgers actually, together, hot dogs together in the barbecue. It's kind of different, but picanha is always picanha. French fries, classic. So let's see the other. I really want sushi. There's a long time that I don't eat sushi. Oh. Have you ever saw that there is a Facebook page named Cursed Food, like comida amaldiçoada, where they have lots of terrible combinations of food. It's like disgusting, but it's an interesting page. Yeah, one of these days I saw a pizza made of sushi. It's strange, you know. So, and we have like this, after we talked about the different food, we also talked about the activities you could do abroad, you know, things you don't usually do on your daily routine. For example, if you go to a place with snow, snowboarding, maybe it's a good idea to try, you know, because there's not something that you could do anytime you want. If you want to snowboarding right now, you can't. You need to have a place that you could do that with safety, of course. Here in Brazil we do that, but with folha de banana in the middle of the pasture. It's kind of a simulation, but it's not the same. I would like to go snowboarding. It's very dangerous. A lot of people break their arms. I told you this story. When I was going to United States to work, there was one place to work as an instructor, a snowboard instructor. It was a very good job. The salary was good. The city, it was amazing. But there was only one problem. You had to sign a lot of paper, and it was mandatory to make an insurance, a health insurance, because it was so normal to break the arm or break the leg. So they had to make you sign these things before you do, because you know that the health system of the United States is different, so you have to pay a lot of money if you break something. So after that, I decided to go for a lifeguard. It was a better job after all. Okay, and the grammar, guys. The grammar time. In this grammar time, it was not rocket science, like they say. It's not very difficult. Basically, it's the safe can, but instead of safe can, it's like the expressions we use instead of the verb. Basically, after these expressions, you have to use the verb with ing. For example, the expressions I'm talking about. It's no use. The translation would be não adianta. It's not worth, or it's worth. Both positive and negative forms are the same rule, and the translations like vale a pena or não vale a pena. Have difficult or have trouble, and it's a waste of time, que é uma perda de tempo. But the thing here is, after these expressions, you ought to use the verb with ing. Look at that. Here's the expression, for example. Look, it's not worth. It's not worth, and here we have a verb, and you have to put the verb with ing. Look, it's not worth traveling. It's not worth traveling. It's the same thing with the others. Look at that. It's no use. After it's no use, I use the verb here, working. And because of that, the verb needs to be with ing, because it's in front of this expression. Just this. Not hard at all. The third expression, I have difficulty. And the verb here with ing. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. For test, sim. It's a waste of time. Exactly. So that's it. Very easy. And here we had to make 4 examples about the grammar. We did the follow-up of that lesson in the second part, where the girl of the first lesson, she returned from her trip, and she made a scrapbook. Do you remember what's a scrapbook? It's like a photo album with personal comments below. And then we had the presentation where you guys made, and it was amazing. I remember. Very good presentation, guys. In the homework, we reviewed basically level 1 completely. So make things very short. Do in complete sentence. You remove the do and complete with the rest of the sentence. Did. You remove the did in the affirmative and you add ed in the end. I'll be very brief because I'm sure you guys know about that. You put ed in the negative, you have didn't, so you don't need to change the verb. In affirmative of does, it's the same idea. So you remove the does and put s in front of the verb because of the does here. And the last one, will, that you don't have to do anything at all. You just complete, will, would, can, the modals in general, you just complete with the rest of the sentence. Will work, won't work, would work. And here's the note that when you use does, sometimes instead of adding just the s like in work, if the word finishes with s, y, x, z, s, h, c, h, 2s, double s, or o, you have to put es. So, for example, she watch, can you see? The verb watch ends in h, So you have to put, she watches the movie, for example. Okay, and that's it. Lesson 1 is done. So let's start lesson 2, but before, I'll just check the comments if there's something important. Tumblr girl, I bet that's Julia. Like 99% of certainty that's Tumblr girl is Julia. It's old school, by the way, because today the new deal is like Visco girl, not Tumblr girl, or TikTok girl. I don't know the difference anymore. Technologies. I love shrimp, true love, but pizza is my favorite. Me too. I like cake made with cucumbers. What? One day want to try snowboarding. Snowboarding must be so cool. I only work with irony. Oh my gosh, Roberto in YouTube, it's much cooler. E-girl, yes, a lot of new tendencies, Lorena. I'm lost, you know. Look, I'm a streamer now. The next step is to do TikTok dances in the videos. Now, Esther is the original Visco girl, actually, because her clothes, the end. She had the best clothes ever. What's that t-shirt? Crazy, but cute, but crazy, but cute, but crazy. So let's go to lesson 2, guys. In lesson 2, we talk about job interviews. And I continue here. Let's continue on the slide I prepared. I'll talk about food, but talking about studying. Studying is boring. Yes, I know. Studying is terrible. I know too. I'm glad I'm not you guys because I don't need to study a lot anymore. Good for me, bad for you. But studying is essential if you need to do greater stuff, you know, because the chances, actually, you can do greater stuff without studying, but the chances are very small. And when you study, when you practice, when you learn, when you develop yourself, you get better chances to achieving good places in life, you know. So it doesn't matter if you study like gastronomy or architecture or English, just English. Anyways, when you study something, you like open doors, you know, because maybe you are preparing to be something in your life, but then comes like a coronavirus thing and break your dreams down. So when you have knowledge in other areas, you know how to cook, you know how to teach English, you know how to speak French, you know about computer things, you open new doors for new possibilities because sometimes the door is locked, you know, the door you really want to go is locked. They lock them for you. So you have a lot of other windows so you can go, and that's what knowledge is. That's why it's so important to study new things. And by the way, I was talking this with a friend another day. I really would like to know what my talent is, you know, because some people say everybody has a different talent. Everybody is very good on something. But the thing is, will you discover what's your talent in your life? It's kind of hard. Maybe you die without discovering what's your talent. And when you try new things, when you study a lot of things, you have a bigger chance also to find that if you are good on that thing. For example, now I'm teaching English. But if I didn't study English like 5-10 years ago, how would I know if I'm good in English or not? You know, I really don't like to be in class all the time when I was a student. But here I am, in class all the time as a teacher. So that's very strange, guys. That's why I think you should try everything you could, you know. For example, if you are playing sports, never play tennis in your life, you should go there and try. Because maybe the talent is like, your talent is play tennis. Maybe you're the best, would be the best tennis player in the world, but you don't know if you never tried before. And that's why studying actually guides you through these things. But to do a job interview, besides being good in that thing, going to a job interview it's a complex thing. You have to prepare in different ways, in a lot of different ways. One way to prepare is studying about the company you are going to apply. We talked about that too, do you remember? Imagine, for example, you are going to apply for I don't know, a company that produces masks for coronavirus thing, and you arrive there using the different type of clothing they expect you to do, because one important thing for the mask to be manufactured, it's not being contaminated by the virus. So if you arrive there without a mask, without protection, people will look to you and say, yeah, maybe that's not a good idea. Do you remember that presentation that you guys made here? It was amazing. I remember all the presentations. And I remember Fernandinha, in the presentation of Fernandinha, about foods of animals, feeds, dog feeds. She asked the question, what brand do you use to feed your dogs? And then imagine if you don't know what the company you're going to make interview produces. It will be concise. So it's important to study for the thing and about the company you're going to apply. And you have to prepare for a lot of people staring at you, looking at you, like the interview we made here in class. That was very good. But there was only one person interviewing you. Imagine like 5 people on the table looking to you, asking questions you are not sure about the answers, and you have to answer them anyway. In the time, you can't think like, I don't know, like Esther sometimes says, Nze? I miss Esther. I miss you guys. Okay, so a job interview probably is the worst part of getting a job. In the first day of job too. We talked about that too. The first day in the work, it's terrible. Everything is new. Oh my gosh, I'll also drink some coffee. My first day teaching English, it was... My first day teaching at all, it was in João Molevade, in a public school. I went there to teach physics. It was my first day. I was 19 years old, and I had 30 students older than me in the class because it was Asia, when you teach for adults. And when I entered the class, I was like 19 with the book in my hand, everybody thinking I was another student. And then I started to teach. Everybody started to talk together. It was a terrible class. And my first day teaching English was also terrible. I felt like you guys doing presentation. I got my material, and I was walking to the room saying, let's go, guys, with a cold in my belly, a huge cold in my belly. And this cold in my belly stayed for months. Every time I was going to enter the class and I called the students, I felt that cold in the stomach, It just passed after like 6-7 months. Oh, the firsts are terrible. Anyways, when you have to go to a job interview, another thing you have to take in consideration is the clothing style. Because they say the first impression is the impression that stays in your mind. So I think it's very important when you're going to a job interview to make a good first impression. Go there with good clothes, right? I can imagine already Roberto going there with Crocs, the T-shirt of Argentina soccer team, saying "Colé" when he sits down. Classic Roberto. So let's see the comments here, what you guys are talking. What's e-girl, by the way? Can you explain that for me? I don't know what's an e-girl. Você caminhoneiro. Hello. Exactly, Lorena. Probably your talent is to drink a lot of medicines and drive all night like crazy things. Crocs Juliette, bom, né? All right. So next picture. And we always have the option of creating our own business, like you did in the presentation, which is also very good. So imagine after all this crisis, probably around 40 million people unemployed, maybe 20 million, but anyways, any million is a lot of million people. And in a few years, you guys will be graduated and trying to find a job after all this crisis thing. And maybe you discover that finding a job is not the option, but creating a job is the option. So every time you try to find something that you can't find, that's maybe a good opportunity for you to create that thing, create that job, create that thing that you're trying to find, but you can't, you know? That's how businesses are created. Usually, that happens like in most of cases. They are trying to get something, they can't find that, and they say, how come nobody's doing that? And then they start doing, you know? So you can pay attention to that. Start now. Maybe you have good ideas for your future. So let's go back to the book. Let's see what was happening after that. Oh yes, it's normal to be nervous during job interviews. It's normal, completely normal. And after job interviews and before job interviews. Because when you have people looking at you, expecting you to do something good, it's completely normal. When you are nervous, that's the thing. When you are nervous before a job interview, you think that's just you feeling that way. But actually, everybody, when you look to the side and you see other people, everybody's feeling the same. It's like when you're going to do a presentation in your school, a project presentation, a normal project presentation. Before your time, you get very anxious, and you start to think, oh my God, I'm so nervous, how people are going to look at me and think about my project. But we never think that everybody's feeling like that. Everybody's nervous, and everybody's going to do the presentation, you know? And everybody is thinking about what other people will think about the presentation. So sometimes, if you think about that, you shouldn't worry so much, because everybody's in the same situation, you know? Here we're talking about things important to do before a job interview, like a good night to sleep, studying the company, drink a lot of Coca-Cola, coffee during the night. Just kidding. Talking about the cliche questions. What's your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Where do you live? What do you eat? We're talking about interests, like things you like to do in your free time usually. And the grammar time was indirect questions. Indirect questions, guys, basically, it's a question that you make a question before. Let me explain. The real question is this part that I'm going to put red. This is the real question. Can you see? The auxiliary is before the subject. This is the real question. The thing that's going to come after is not a real question, but it's more like an affirmative. For example, let me put here a direct question. A direct question would be, do you like to participate in an interview? Beleza. Do you like to participate in an interview? This is a direct question. An indirect question, I would get this question, and put together with this introduction of the question. But what's going to change? This in red would be the real question. So the second part, it's like an affirmative. I will put it, for example, could you tell me if you like to participate in an interview? Pay attention, guys. If you take off this interrogative point, The part here in black is an affirmative. You like to participate in an interview. But when you do this previous question, this is an indirect question, when you make a previous question after the other. So basically, when you have to make an indirect question, the second part must be in the structure of an affirmative. Remember these examples? For example, let me do something with you. The direct question was, is he Spanish? And then we make the previous questions. Can you tell me if, and now I'll put here in caps lock, he is Spanish. Can you see? The question is like an affirmative. It's like an affirmative. He is Spanish. But the real question is here. All right? You did this exercise. I know you know the subject very well because most of you guys made it correct. So if you have any questions, you can call me, okay? You can tell in the comments or you can review your books after. Let me discover what's e-girl because I asked it here. I remember the crank here. I'm still wanting to know what's an e-girl. All right, so let's go back. Some comments on WhatsApp and nobody from here. All right. So we did the listing, the job interview, that the women get the job, the woman get the job, sorry. And the presentation that you had to create the companies. You even create the logos. That was so good, guys. And the practice here was talking about how to tell the time in English. So you have both ways. You have two ways. Both ways are okay. One way is like similar to Portuguese, and the other way is a little different, but is also used. So it's important. If you're not going to say that way, it's important for you to listen that way so you can comprehend, you know? So the first way to say the time is like Portuguese. For example, now it's in Portuguese 3:40, you're going to say it's 3:40. Simple like that. The second way, it's like in Portuguese, because it would say 20 para as 4, né? So it would be 20 to 4. So after 30 minutes, you use 2, like 20 to 4, 20 para as 4. And before 30 minutes, you say how long it has passed. For example, if now the time would be 2, 3, and 14, you would say it's one way, 3 and 14, classic, normal, or 14 past 3, like 14 passados das 3. So it would be 14 past 3. That's the second way. Both are okay. And when it's in meia, like you say in Portuguese, like 2:30, 3:30, you say 2.5, 3.5. All right? Here are some examples, and here was the practice. And I remember on the book of C, I copied and pasted the clock, so all the times are the same, so my bad. And now, step 3, complaints. It's good to talk about that, because we are complaining all the time about this quarantine. The coffee gets cold, you know, so I have to put more to make it hot. And after I forget to drink. And it gets cold again. So, complaints. And let me put here on PowerPoint again. Today, we are facing a situation that a lot of old people are complaining more than usual. Because usually they complain. I put that in book, do you remember? Look at the picture of the old guy here. I put that because I know old people usually complain. Usually they complain about pain in the body. Say, oh my God, my back is hurting, or my arm is broken. My arm is hurting. But nowadays, they are complaining about other reasons because they really want to go to the streets to talk and walk and go to Caixa and go to bank and go to, talk in the middle of the streets, and they can't. So they're complaining a lot. And we see a lot of old people on the streets nowadays. Sometimes we want to go out and we think twice. And I don't think these people, like a lot of people, are not thinking twice. They're just going. Another very popular complaint is about telemarketing. Do you remember this video of Porta dos Fundos, da Judite? That Fábio Pochá, the guy, was trying to cancel the plan and stayed like for days, the line, trying to cancel, and he couldn't. And I had a problem these days with internet. I had internet via satellite, and one company bought the other company. I had one company, and this company was bought by another company, so they had to change all the equipment. And after they changed, my internet went to 1010 to 010. It was terrible. I couldn't even open images on WhatsApp. So I don't have patience for that. So Gabi, that's an angel, she called there like 10 times. Every call was 1 hour and a half in telephone trying to make it work. And after 1 week, my internet now is a 5 in 10. It was 1010, went to 010, and now it's 5 in 10. Not great, not terrible. Could be worse. But I bet you guys complained too about that messages of you when nobody calls you. You are very lonely, usually. So then from nowhere, your cell phone starts to ring, and you go there. Oh my God, somebody's calling me. Somebody really likes me. And then you check there is something 011, 011 that you don't know who is it, and you just ignore. You say, oh, I thought it was something important. I thought somebody liked me, but it's just some guy in a prison. Sometimes you answer the phone, hey, how are you? Just kidding. I'm sorry about WhatsApp. Guys, what's an e-girl? Gothic plus emo plus pet girl? Sorry. Hold on. I'll close the WhatsApp so it won't have that strange noise. It was open because some of you guys were talking to me there, but so let's go back. Another thing that everybody, actually, I have to tell about Lorena in this lesson because she complains a lot. Everybody in the class knows that. Sometimes everybody has a different complaint class. Julia complains about the tests, sometimes the homeworks. Tainá complains about no, Tainá doesn't complain a lot. Only about the presentation sometimes. Lorena complains about everything. Pipico complains because nobody let him speak, and he really wants to speak, and he complains about that. And let's see, Roberto complains about the thing in the eye. Do you remember? One day he stood with the hand in the eye for hours. Fernanda complains about presentation. No, she doesn't complain about presentation. What Fernanda complains about? She complains about not using the self in the class. She really likes to use Instagram sometimes. And let's see if I forgot. Esther doesn't complain at all. She complains a lot about presentation too. When I say presentation, she says, no. And guys, elections are coming this year. Or not. Can it get worse, maybe? Maybe we have to cancel 2020? Cancel 2020? Sorry, I say cancel all the time, but it's cancel. And we have elections in the city halls, and we have elections for president in the United States. Are you guys following up the political thing? I hope not. So let's go to the next. Teachers. Do you complain about the teachers in your school? It's kind of a popular complaint. Everybody has a teacher in the school that you don't like. I know you are thinking about this teacher right now, and I hope it's not me. But everybody has a teacher that you really don't like, And maybe this teacher made you dislike the subject. Maybe you liked the subject, but after you had class with some specific teacher, you started to dislike the subject. And it happens about the opposite too. Maybe you dislike the subject, but the teacher is very good, very exciting, and then you start to like that subject. But have you ever went to the teacher after the tests and said, "Teacher, come on, why is this wrong? Look," you get the test of your friend, said, "Look, my friend put exactly the same thing and made it correct, and mine is not correct. What's the problem?" And then the teachers get angry and remove points from both of you. I will do that because you are just wrong, Trying to use your poor friends that got a correct answer as excuse to get another point. I had a teacher in college that the grades, the notes, were completely random, aleatórias, completely. We had this feeling that he got the test, threw on the air, and got one, said 9, and threw on the air, got 1, 7. Because sometimes the answer was, they were completely the same, because they were like a part of a book that we all memorized because we use so much, and we put the same thing with a little different words, and he did it correct for one, wrong for the other, and then after some time we gave up, and stopped trying to get the grades equal, and then we just accepted that it would be random all the time. The next picture, guys, is talking about bad luck, another very popular complaint. Sometimes the day is not just your day. You walk in the streets, you step on the poop of a dog. And then, when you're going home, it starts to rain. And then, you are walking home again, and your cell phone falls from your pocket and breaks. And then you get home, and your dog is in the sofa. Some days it's just like that. And of course, we have to talk about the gifts. That's something about everybody complains. Mainly in the end of the year when you do Secret Friend. Secret Friend, guys, is a play created by the devil. Because have you ever seen someone really happy that got a good gift, gave a good gift on Secret Friends? It never happens to me. That's why I don't participate in a lot of anymore. Yeah, Lorena, I'm like a psychologist, but in the wrong way. I just make people sad. That's what I do. And then we have that video to prove that video that Fernanda recorded of you. Do you remember? All right, let's move on. Let's finish. Okay, guys? This is lesson 3 already, so we are in the last lesson of the review today. And we're talking about parents also. Another thing that a lot of people complain about. You ask something to them and they say no, and you start to cry. You ask to go out and they say no, and then you start to cry. Now it's kind of the opposite. Old people ask to go out and you say no, and they cry. But well, it looks like the game turned, right? All right, let's see what happened here in the grammar of lesson 3. We talk about elections. We talked about snowing days, what would you do? And in this listening, the guy had a very bad day. Remember, he got robbed, he got wet, his cell phone broke. But after all, he was happy. He got fired in the same day. But after all, he was really happy because in the end of the day, he was he had an amazing idea to create a company with his wife, and everything worked out, so he was happy. And the last grammar time was present perfect continuous. So here, let's start with this, guys. Present perfect. Basically, let's put it the most simple way possible, okay? Present perfect is the past where it doesn't matter when it happened. Finish, okay? This part is a past that doesn't matter when it happened. For example, like in português, eu estudei. Está no passado, mas não importa quando aconteceu. Seria isso. And in this grammar, you have present perfect continuous. Continuous is something that you still do, right? Like, I am studying. Eu estou estudando, até agora. So, present perfect continuous combine these two ideas. You get the idea of something you started in the past, and doesn't matter when, with the idea of something you still are doing. So, present perfect continuous is something that you start doing, no matter when, and you do until today. For example, studying English, guys, you started doing, you can say, I have been studying English. You started, it doesn't matter when you started, and you are studying English until the day. All right? So, the structure is very simple. So, você vai. You're going to put the person here, I, you, they, we. If it's he, she, or it, you use has. For the rest, have. So, for example, I have been. The verb with ing, because it's continuous, right? And that's it. Look, she has been studying. I have been taking a course. Simple. It's not rocket science again. It's kind of simple. After you understand the idea, it's not complicated at all. Because the name, present perfect continuous, sometimes you see present perfect and you freak out. But it's kind of simple. Something started, doesn't matter when, still happened until today. End of conversation. We did some exercises here. You can check on your book too if it's correct or not. If you have questions, you can send me a message later. The continuation of the listening. And in the practice here, guys, to finish this live and this review, in this practice, we saw different pronouns. Usually, we have that normal pronouns. I, he, she, it, you, they, we, right? Those used before the verb. Let's put here. I, he, she, it doesn't change at all. You doesn't change. They, you, we. The difference here is the left column you use before the verb, the right column you use after the verb. Simple like that. Let's put here. These ones in red you use after the verb. But with the same translation, like eu, ele, ela, você, eles. For example, call me if you need help, okay? Look, the verb here is call. After the verb, after the verb. After the verb, after the verb. Simple like that. Him, send him. Look at that. Here, the verb is here. Before the verb, use I, normal. After the verb, her, because it's after the verb. All right? So these are the same translation, but usually before the verb, after the verb. Now let's see the second board. Here, guys, different from the first board, this board is talking about possessive. So it's not about talking about people, like ele, ela, nós. Isso aqui é sobre possessivos. Então é tipo meu, dele, dela, disso. É posse, não é pessoa. So we have two columns also, but the difference here is easier, I think. We use the first column when you have a noun after, when you have a thing after. Como eu disse na sala, né? Você usa a primeira coluna como se tem uma coisa depois, um substantivo. For example, my computer. Computer is a noun, né? Um substantivo. Então você usa o my antes. Agora, the fast computer is mine. Can you see? You don't have a noun after here. That's it. The same thing for the others. All right? It's very easy to memorize because basically you put the S in the end with the exception of my, that's mine, and his because his has an S, so you just keep it. And that's the difference, all right? And guys, I think you enjoyed this review, all right? I won't make it too much longer because I think 1 hour is okay to make a review of 3 lessons. And I think it's very important for you guys to talk too. That's why for level 6, mainly, and to start with you guys, I really would like you to make a part of our conversation chat in Discord, you know? If you don't know how to use Discord, just talk to me in WhatsApp and I will teach. I made a test yesterday with Fernandinha and Lorena. It worked super well. And I think it would be easy to correct the homeworks, to talk about the class, talk about this class, by the way. And it's very easy. We did it with 5 minutes. I taught Lorena how to use Discord in 5 minutes. You just have to click in 2 or 3 places and okay. You can use it on your cell phone. You can use it on your laptop. It's very easy, okay? If you use TikTok, probably you can use Discord. So I think it would be very amazing. And we are going to start with that next week if possible. So call me on WhatsApp again if you don't know how to use Discord, and I will teach you. I will send you screenshots. It's very easy, and I think it worked very well. And I miss listening to your voices, guys. I mean, not a lot, but a little. Not doing TikTok dances like Tainai and Julia all the time, but I really miss your voices, guys. Pipico voice. I don't listen to Pipico voice for like 3 years. Okay, let's see the comments if there's something. Yes, Lorena. Of course, Lorena is complaining. That's so normal. Okay, guys, I hope you like it, all right? I'm going to end this right now. So if you don't know how to use Discord again, call me on WhatsApp, and I see you guys in the next class, all right? Bye-bye, guys.